Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of my single player survival series, and I hope you enjoyed that intro of this amazingly large wheat field that I've created here. And just in case you're wondering, I did that with one hoe. One diamond hoe did all of that. It's a little OP. It's quite OP for a diamond hoe, but you know what? It's good. We'll never need another one unless we lose this. And I think it brought a lot of color to the area. So I really like it. It's given the area a lot more to look at. And it filled in some of that blank space that we had originally. This walkway that we've gotten put in as well helps out a lot getting up and down. And there's a lot of things that we need to do this episode. But as I was building this, I noticed something. And it's kind of everywhere. If you look close enough, you will see that there seems to be in this world a issue with a monster lingering, and it happens to be, well, the chest monster that happens to be everywhere. I mean, it's everywhere. It's here. It's here. It's more over here. Oh, look. Here's a bunch more. And here. And here. And here. And even all the way down here at the docks. We have chest monsters everywhere. Not only do we have chest monsters everywhere, we have unfinished projects everywhere. Look at this. Finish the docks. Y'all remember that sign? That was quite a while ago. Let's head on up top and I'll show you some of the other signs that we need to get to, and we probably won't get to them all in this episode because I do have plans to take care of this chest monster. But we've got signs everywhere that we need to take care of. There's one up here. Remember that one? The one where I couldn't figure out what I wanted to build up there, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to know exactly what to build here in just an episode or two. Guess what? There's nothing here. There's nothing here. We've got unfinished projects everywhere, and we need to finish them. And I need a bed, so I'm going to go up here. Hey, look, it's a sign. What does it say? Path. We got to build a path. Wheatfield needs a path. But let's go sleep real quick. Another sign. What's it? Yep, see? Right here. Got to finish that. So many projects. So many projects. But again, I don't want to get into a rush on all of these. That's why I leave signs. Just so I can remember what I want to do, and then really think about the process of building that and what it's going to take, so that I can kind of design this world very carefully. So for today, our main objective is getting rid of this chest monster, because it's getting to the point now where we're going to start doing some actual building, and there's nothing more infuriating than trying to build and then having to run around because all of your stuff is scattered everywhere and you just don't have any materials. So we're going to get that fixed, but I've been thinking, right? Like, it's got to go somewhere central. I don't want my storage way off somewhere where I can't really access it easily when we're in this area. So I put a lot of thought into this, actually, and it's one of the reasons why I've waited so long to build the storage system for everything, and I've kind of been just making a chest monster as we go. We want to go right down here, and I have found a spot that I think is going to be perfect for the storage system. Again, I don't know how complicated this storage system is going to be. This is going to be a long-term world, so I'm more imagining something very simple now here in the beginning. And then as we progress in this world, we'll probably get into a lot more complicated redstone and things like that, so we can maybe make the storage system expandable for the future. So I kind of want to keep things like that in mind when I'm designing it. And here we have the perfect place for our storage. Now you might be saying, Alice, you're in a cave. You're definitely not accessible. Why is this the perfect place for storage, and why do you think that this could ever be a central location for this area? And well, let me show you. So you know from the past videos on this world, there's our entrance to come into the cave there, and then if you go right down there, that's a way straight down to the docks. So that gives us an entrance for the town and the docks. Now eventually, of course, we're going to be building more up on the hill that is beside the docks, which would be right above us. And this actually gives us an exit point to that as well. So when we're ready to build out here, we have perfect access in and out of our storage room. Now, the only thing that really complicates things is, well, we're doing a lot of building over here where the villagers are. And, well, we would need access to get over there as well. Fortunately, this area has also given us the answer to that. And if you come out this side of the cave, It puts you right behind where the villager trading area is and the area that we're going to be expanding next. So we're going to be working on this area and the area up here above me, kind of behind and beside the village. What does that mean? That means that this is going to be, I think, the perfect spot for our storage, but it is going to need a lot of work. So let's go ahead and get started on that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig this out a little bit, give it some room to work, make sure that I don't dig too far to the edges, because again, we want to have room to be expandable, right? Like if I put in all of my stuff here, I want to have room in the back for redstone later. So I've got to take that into consideration. I've got a little bit of a plan. That's dangerous. I've got a little bit of a plan for what I kind of want this to look like. But again, it's one of them things where I've got to dig this out and really look at what's behind the walls and underneath of us to make sure that everything's going to fit. I have done some scouting just to make sure that, you know, we're not going to run into too many issues. So I'm going to go ahead and get this dug out and get a foundation for the storage area that we kind of want to get laid in here. And then when I do, I'll come back with you and show you the plans and what it's going to kind of look like. See you in just a moment. Hey everyone, welcome back. And I've got this area dug out and I kind of designed everything and mocked it up in dirt just so I kind of knew where everything needed to go. But this is going to be the storage room and it is expandable for the future. This is the only side that gets where it's kind of not expandable, so I'm going to have to be careful here because we're like 2, maybe 3 blocks away from the outside right here. But everywhere else, we have plenty of room. So let me kind of go over where everything's going to be. Here's the entrance as we come in. This is going to be our block palette that we're going to be using for in here because I want it to kind of look more rustic, kind of like the town is. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this palette and the entrance will be here. So we'll come in, this will be a storage area here. I've got the dirt blocks just placed for markers, but it'll be chest. It's nothing but chests in here. This side as well. If you notice the way that I've designed these two, there's 2 reasons. Number one, this area here on both sides will be stairs. But it also mimics the temple a little bit, the water temple out there. And when we do finally get to that, this where all the storage for that's going to be. It's in these 2 areas here. And then we'll kind of decorate it up a little bit to make it look like the water temple. Down here is going to be more storage. And the way that I've also designed this is no matter which way I go, I have a staircase. So I have a staircase on every side to lead up to here. Now up here will be more storage. This will be kind of like bulk storage, and down below will be a little bit of bulk storage. But this will mostly be like your cobble, your dirt, and things like that you just end up with a ton of. Over here are one of those exits that we were talking about. So this one right here will lead us to the back side of the villager breeder, which is right over there. And then the other one leads us to the outside as well, head more towards the docks. So what I want to do is I think I'm going to do a time lapse maybe of trying to get this designed and built out, and then I'll come back with y'all once I get a little bit more work done and we'll talk about maybe the placement of the chests, the floor design, and the ceiling design. So I'll see y'all in just a minute. I have a lot of building to do, so come join me and we'll get it done. Okay, so the storage system is done, and I might have went a little bit overboard on the details. I kind of got carried away once I just started going with it. I just went. But this took about 3.5 days to do all this, which isn't too bad for not really having everything completely planned out. A little bit of that organized chaos as I was talking about, but we did use a combination of moss blocks, leaves. The copper really gives it some good accents, even though we need to get a bee farm so I can get some wax and wax a bunch of this stuff. And over at the mines as well, I'd like to get some of that wax. So maybe in the upcoming videos, we'll go ahead and try to start working on like a bee farm. And then I went with this little combination here. It's just a combination of quartz and calcite, and you know, a few white blocks just kind of scattered in there. There's some bone blocks and stuff. So I went with the wooden stairs, and I really like kind of patterning out like this and not making it all just one color going all the way up. I think it looks good. It gives it just a little bit more detail, kind of draws your eye to the stairs. We've got this area here which is finished, except I have not removed the tree yet, and that's for good reason actually. I don't have anything built on the other side, and it's not lit up very well, and I just don't want like a creeper to wander in here and blow me up. That would not be good. So the tree's gonna stay for now until we get ready to start building on that area over there. This side I kind of cheated on a little bit. It looks nice until you walk around the corner and realize there's still a little bit here that has to get done. But we'll get it finished. I kind of don't want to finish this section until I build out here, just so I know what the color palette and the block palette is going to be leading into the cave. And then I might try to like mesh the two together. So this might look like this for a while, but you know, that's okay. It's just a little area. It'll be fine. And then over here we've got a bunch of our storage for all of our woods. And I know I don't have, so all these are wood. And then all of these over here are wood as well. Now, I know I don't have enough chests here and here for all the different wood types, but there's a few that I don't use a lot, like acacia. I don't really use a lot of acacia. I think I've got some acacia. Yeah, I've got it thrown in here with the cherry, because I just don't use it that much. Mangrove is another one that I don't have a section here for. And that's mainly because mangrove is so far away. We need elytra before we can even try to get to mangrove. So it's going to be a while, so I'm not too worried about it there. Right here is just kind of like the hosh-posh of all the random little bits that I use a lot. So, you know, we've got all of our bone blocks and our bone meal here, a bunch of flowers and greenery. And then down here we'll have redstone, all of our dyes, some of our wool. I actually need to move this because I actually have a spot downstairs for the wool now. And this is kind of like the utilities junk drawer, so your crafting tables, your barrels, and things like that. We've got an ender chest here, and I need to make a couple more because I want to put one down in the room down there. So we'll head on downstairs and take a look at everything we've got going on in here. Now this room right here I haven't done yet because again I do want to use this for the temple. This one I did change up a little bit because I decided, you know what, we only really need one room for the temple, the water temple, and I wanted a main room for myself. So like I've got all the storage, but I don't have my area, so this is kind of my area. So down here I have a few things like my bed and a crafting table and things. I'll have some storage just for stuff that I might need or I might be working on in here, like smooth stone slabs right here. I was building armor stands, so that's why that's there. And I want to put an ender chest right here. Now I've added a few pictures in here just to make it look nice, and I've got a couple backup suits of armor and swords and pickaxes here. Just in case, you know, when you die, you know, it's going to happen eventually. I'm going to die. I'm not going to be able to get back to my stuff. And this right here just makes it so much easier where, number one, it gives me a better chance of getting back to my stuff, especially when we get some elytras. You know, we can store some elytras here and that'll help us get pretty far distances. But just in case you can't get back to it, at least, you know, you've got a couple backup sets here. I want to put another set here and here as well. And I also want to enchant them. I've started enchanting this one a little bit, but I want to get them enchanted so that each one of them kind of represents like something that I might be doing. So if I was going to the nether, like this one would be like decked out for like nether with all the enchantments. Or if I was going to do like a boss battle or something, you know, I'd have like this one decked out for like a boss battle. So that way I can kind of pick my enchantments to what I'm doing. If I'm doing like a lot of building and stuff, well, you know, I'm going to need like a lot of feather falling and your just basic kind of armor and stuff. So that's kind of what I want to do here. That way it's everything I do, I try to make where it's faster on myself if I get set back, right? Because whenever you're doing this kind of stuff where you're not only playing the game, but you're also trying to do content creation, one wrong move and you lose all your gear can set you back hours and sometimes even days depending on the situation. So you know, I always try to be prepared, you know, because you never know. You never know what's going to happen. And I want to be able to pump out this content for y'all, so I don't like to have to deal and hassle with things like that. But that's my rant on, you know, that's my rant on that. So again, down here we've got all of our ores just kind of stashed away. So over here we've got like the sand and then glass. I've got my bricks here, which I've got some more I've got to go get. I've got a bunch of brick. Here is an entire empty row, so I could use this for something. And this is going to be netherrack over here and then netherrack brick and so forth. Now, as we head down here, I wanted to create this kind of like 3 different atmospheres, right? So if I go back up, so this is kind of like the lush green area, right? It's got all the really green leaves everywhere. It's the really pretty area. This also is the area that has all the wood, right? So all the leaves and the prettiness, wood. And then when you go down here, you know, there's not as much. There's a little bit of greenery, right? But it's a lot of dark stone, and this is kind of like the second layer. So that's where you get, you know, stuff like this. And then when you come down here, you know, I wanted the atmosphere to change one more time, so we had to go down another level. So this is when you get into the deep dark, right? So I've got a chest, I've got a crafting table here, and I've got my stone cutter, just, you know, just in case I need to do some work. I always like to have these spread around my base everywhere. But in here, what we've done is a little bit of mood lighting, and every now and then I have to come down here and, you know, try to turn the light up a little bit so we can see. And just for the video purposes, I actually am going to turn the light up just a little bit here, just so we can see a little bit better. I don't know if that helped, but it might, maybe. So down here is pretty much just bulk storage and overflow. We've got stuff like all of our stone, cobblestone. I also am keeping like the stone bricks and stuff down here, as well as the cobblestone stairs and things. We've got our grass blocks and dirt all down here. So all of this is just kind of like all of your overflow. I don't think I've put anything over here yet except for mud. But also, we have all of these barrels that I can also use for things like flint and rotten flesh and all my string. I think I have, yep, right here is the skulk. So I've used a bunch of these as well. Down here is actually the wool that I was talking about earlier. So now all my wool can be separated. And then we're using, you know, deep slate. This is going to be where all of your real bulk items that you might not want to get rid of, because you know you're going to need them on a build, but they just take up so much room. They go down here. Now this is expandable, which is why I built the walls right here like this. I could expand it in 3 different directions if I wanted. And then really each one of these sections is like a pod, right? So like this is a pod. So if I went down just a little bit, what, like maybe 4 blocks, I think, and then I could build another pod. And then 4 blocks and then another pod, and then the same thing over here, 4 blocks and another pod. And it would honestly start to be like a maze down here, especially if I did it like that down here too, like, and then build a pod. I mean, it would be like the back rooms down here. And that could be interesting if I ever get to that point of needing that much overflow. But honestly, this is a lot of storage. The only thing I could ever see really needing it for would be maybe my stone. We've already got quite a bit of stone, and you know, that could be the only thing that I would see in an overflow issue, or maybe even deep slate or something like that, right?
But everything else, once you get a stack of this, like a full row of these chests, you pretty much can just start tossing whatever you get after that. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. This has been quite a project just for building all of this storage area and also working on that wheat field out there. That was quite a bit. So this is going to be the end for this episode, and I'm not going to be making an episode probably for next week. So there won't be one coming out. I'm hoping that my internet is going to be back up and running by the end of this week. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to release this video, and after this one is out, I'm actually going to take a couple of days to sit in a creative world, and then I'm going to actually work on some designs that I've got planned for Whimsycraft that I kind of need to get put down in solid block so that I know exactly what I'm doing when I get back on there. So hopefully, like I said, there won't be an episode this week coming up, but the next one that I will have come out will hopefully be a Whimsycraft episode, and I'm so excited to get back over there. I've missed everyone. They've been so busy, and we have so much catching up to do. And as always, thank you for coming with me on this incredible journey, and be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!